I used to walk these blocks like a stranger. Inside my own skin, I would vanish in plain sight. Fog on the avenue, salt on my collar. Every window held a life I couldn't live right. I learned to speak in quiet so nobody would hear the fracture in my name. Held my face like a verdict, smiled through the weather, stayed buried in the blame. Then you came in like dawn through a crack stained glass. No thunder, no warning, just the dark losing its grasp. And I felt my chest stop bracing for the fall, like the night had a seam and your hand found it all. Your presence clears the fog. I can breathe when you're near. Your presence clears the fog, and the whole world comes near. The streets turn to gold where my doubt used to crawl. Your presence clears the fog, and I see it all. I have kept old storms in drawers, letters I never sent, prayers I never dared. Some nights I'd replay your silence like a saint in the dark, like a flame in the prayer. You don't ask for my armor, you touch the places I have learned to hide. And my ruin stands still when your voice moves through the room like a tide. Then you came in soft as a curtain of rain, and the ache in my bones didn't feel like a chain. For one honest minute I was not made of fear. I was somebody's answer, I was finally here. Your presence clears the fog. I can breathe when you're near. Your presence clears the fog, and the whole world comes near. The streets turn to gold where my doubt used to crawl. Your presence clears the fog, and I see it all. After midnight I confess it, I've been a house with the power cut off. Still I kept one room open for the day your shadow would cross. Now the memories come back changed, not as knives but a sacred light. Every wound that made me lonely loses its voice in your sight. I don't call this a rescue, I call it a truth I can finally hold. When you stand in the doorway, my fractured life turns to a story told. Then you came in, and the ceiling lifted high. Even my silence learned how to reply. And the years I was drowning in a name I couldn't bear fell apart at your breathing like ash in the air. Your presence clears the fog. I can breathe when you're near. Your presence clears the fog, and the whole world comes near. The streets turn to gold where my doubt used to crawl. Your presence clears the fog, and I see it all. If I am honest, I was losing my way, not with a scream, just a slow, colorless gray. But you came close enough to make the world visible again, to make my heart beat, believe in its own skin. So stay with me when the night wears thin. Let your gentleness pull the light back in. Your presence presence clears the fog, and I see it all. Your presence clears the fog, and I am not lost. Your presence clears the fog at whatever cost. I was dim, I was buried, I was split, I was small. Your presence clears the fog, and I feel it all. I learned your shape in the edge of a crowd, not your name, not yet. Just the way you stood there, like you had survived the weather and kept your face unbroken. I wore my years like a locked door, smile in place, fistful of silence, still carrying the dent where love had struck before and left me speaking in fragments. You were carrying your own small ruin, hidden clean under your coat. I could see it in your eyes, the practiced calm, the cost of staying alive. We were two tired maps, folded wrong in the dark, each one showed the road had ended. Then your voice touched mine, soft as a hand on a bruise, and something in me answered. Two paths that chose to cross when the storm was at its worst. Two hearts with all their scars, still reaching through the hurt. Not perfect, not untouched, just finally seen at last. You found me where I was, and I found where I can rest. Two paths that chose to cross, and I have never been the same. There were nights I drove nowhere just to outrun my own thoughts. And you knew that kind of hollow, the kind that makes a man a stranger to his breathing. You had a way of laughing right after you almost cried, like you were teaching your sorrow how to loosen its grip without ever naming it. We spoke in open pieces, truth with the sharp edges left on, confessions from the margins, things we had hidden for years from anyone who stayed too long. And in the middle of that wreckage, you looked at me like this was not rescue, not surrender, just two souls refusing to keep pretending they were fine. And all my old goodbyes began to lose their voice, as if they've been waiting for you. Stood there shaking, you stood there open, and the whole world narrowed to us. Two paths that chose to cross when the storm was at its worst. Two hearts with all their scars, still reaching through the hurt. Not perfect, not untouched, just finally seen at last. You found me where I was, and I found where I can rest. Two paths that chose to cross, and I have never been the same. Maybe this is what love is, not a lightning strike, but a long, slow arrival. After all the wrong addresses, after every door that closed. Maybe it's the mercy of being understood too late, suddenly too soon by the one who stays. You did not ask me to become some cleaner, brighter version. You held the cracked places as if they were holy, as if they were mine to keep. And I, who kept my distance like it could save me from pain, gave you the tender parts I had buried under armor, and watched them come alive. If I met you in another life, I still think I'd know that look, the one that says you have walked through fire too, and still believe in morning. So take my shaking head, take the years I used to guard, take the name I never gave to anyone who touched my wounds. You can have the part of me that finally stopped running at the exact hour, at the exact turn, when the ache had made room for something truer. You can. Storm was at its worst. Two hearts with all their scars, still reaching through the hurt. Not perfect, not untouched, just finally seen at last. You found me where I was, and I found where I can rest. Two paths that chose to cross, and I will like this, with all my human hands, with all my brokenness. Two paths that chose to cross, and I have never been the same. If this was only chance, then chance knew what it was doing. If this was only time, then time was leading us home. Chose to cross, and I will keep you in my heart. The hall was dim, gold on the wall, like Sunday kept inside the plaster. You stood in that door without a word, and every second split me faster. Your hand on the frame, my breath in my ribs. I wore my calm like borrowed armor, but I saw my life leave your face, and I knew I was not stronger. I started to speak, then the room went still. Even the floorboards listened. You looked at me like you already knew what I could not admit. In the middle of it, your silhouette cut out on the threshold, and I have lived there ever since. That line of you in the golden dark cut clean through all my defense. Your silhouette cut out on the threshold. It stays when everything else goes. I carry that shape in the center of me, like a wound that only love could know. I told myself time would wear it down, like rain softens the names in stone. Some scenes don't blur, they deepen, they move in and make a home. I see your dress against the light, I see my own hands shaking. I see the truth I tried to hide in the way my voice kept breaking. I let you go, but not all the way. Some part of me stayed in that doorway. You turned your face just once, just enough to like a wound that only love could know. Years can be loud and the world gets cruel. It asked me to move to harden. I learned how to stand, how to shake it off, how to speak with my sorrow guarded. But there are nights when the stairwell glows and my heart walks back unbidden to that doorway, to your quiet eyes, to the life we left half living. I hear my name like you said it then, soft as a promise, failing, and all my pride falls to the ground for one more look at the shape you're making. Your silhouette cut out on the threshold, and I have lived there ever since. That line of you in the golden dark, cut clean through all my defense. Your silhouette cut out on the threshold, it stays when everything else goes. I carry that shape in the center of me, like a wound that only love could know. If I had known that silence could preach, I would have knelt any longer. If I had known one doorway could hold a whole man under its thunder, I would have said stay even if it hurt. I would have said the truest sentence, but I stood there proud with my cracked up heart and missed my only witness. So let me live with the cost of it. Let me worship what was real. Let that shadow stay where it touched my life. It still knows how I feel. Your silhouette cut out on the threshold, and I have lived there ever since. That line of you in the golden dark, cut clean through all my defense. Your silhouette cut out on the threshold, it stays when everything else goes. I carry that shape in the center of me, like a prayer my body knows. Your silhouette cut out on the threshold, oh, it never left that frame. And every love I ever found still learns to call your name. Your silhouette cut out on the threshold, I don't ask time to make it fade. Some things are meant to stay on fire, some things are blessed to stay the same. In the dim hall, in the gold, in the hush, you are still there. Cut out on the threshold, and I am still there.